Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. Let's talk books, and today I'd like to talk about the Femme Fantail Readathon. Actually jumping into this very late in the game. Today is August 18th. This is the first day of the Readathon, and it goes through August 25th. So it's a Readathon that lasts a week, but I really enjoy the idea, the project of this Readathon, which is to read fantasy written by women. And I've been meaning to participate the last couple of times that it has happened, but I just, it was during busy times, so I just had not. But this time, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to jump in, and I wanted to share my TBR with you all. So first, a few basics. Like I said, the Readathon runs from the 18th to the 25th, and although it's very loose kind of Readathon, or very user-friendly, in that the main goal really is just to read fantasy written by female authors, but there is a bingo board to help you kind of pick books to read during the week. I will put that up on the screen right now. And I like a lot of the bingo squares on here, but this week I'm not going to focus on trying to get bingo on the board, mostly because this is, again, a kind of heavy workload week for me. It's not really. It's actually one of the easiest weeks of the semester, but it is going to be the first week of the fall semester for me. And just like for students, it's a kind of tough week for professors as well, not because there's a lot of heavy work involved necessarily, but because there's a lot of things to do. And I think one of the hardest things about the first week of the semester is just getting used to a new schedule, a new weekly routine, and it can sometimes be, a bit much. But still, and that's actually why I want to participate in the Readathon. Oftentimes during this first part of the semester, I often forget to take care of myself. And for me, reading is a significant part of my self-care. So this Readathon will hopefully help me engage in a little more self-care than I normally do during the first week. So, okay, let me just share the TBR for the week with you. So the first book that I want to mention, because I did start reading, well, I read a chunk of it today. I basically finished the book today for the first day of the Readathon, but I didn't start it during the Readathon, so I'm not counting it, but I would like to give it an honorable mention, and that is Magic Burns by Ilona Andrews. This is book 2 in the Kate Daniel series, and it's written by a husband and wife writing team, and this book 2 really just, it's really good. Stay tuned for more thoughts in the wrap-up, but it's really good. And if I had book 3 loaded up and ready to go, I would be going straight to it, because this second book did a really good job of immersing me into the Kate Daniels world. So quick mention there. But first book on the TBR is Oh My Gods by Alexandra Sheppard. This is a story about a Black teenager who learns that her parents are actually Mount Olympus gods. So this would fit, I think, a couple of the boxes in the bingo square for the Readathon. And this book has been on my TBR for quite some time. It looks really cute, and I've been into a mythology kick in the last year or so. So I've really been wanting to read it, and hopefully I can get to it in the next week. Next book is also a young adult book, and that is Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida, Córdova. This is a Latinx book, own voices, and it is about witches. So that's all I really need to know. But I've heard a lot of really good things about this book in the Latinx reading community on Twitter, and I'm excited to get started because it is part of a series, and if I really enjoy it, I know there will be more for me to pick up. Next book on the TBR is Blanca and Roja by Anna-Marie McLemore. So this is another Latinx-inspired fantasy, and it sounds like it also deals with witchcraft, following two sisters, and something about swans in the woods. So it sounds really good. Another one that I've heard really great things. It is also the Latinx book club pick for the month of August, so I really wanted to read it in August, and I'm a little bit late to the game because the kind of group has already been reading it, but I just want to get to it. So this one I will definitely be reading in the month of August, and hopefully the Readathon will kind of give me the little push to go ahead and get started with it. Last on my TBR is Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness, and this is book 2 in the All Souls trilogy. I first read A Discovery of Witches, I think over a year ago. Really actually enjoyed that book. There were aspects that I didn't like, but Deborah Harkness is a historian at USC, and the main character in the series is a historian, and like just the way Deborah Harkness writes like the first third of that book, and the way she describes like archival research and some of the, and how she brings in the fantasy elements was just like historian catnip. Like I felt like that was written for me. And for a lot of other historians, and so really enjoyed it. Would like to continue with the series. I've been watching the TV show, and so I want to continue with the books and find out what's going to happen in this story. But that is it for me. Those are the books on my TBR for the week. Like I said, it's not a strict TBR. I will not get through all of them in 1 week with work starting back up, but hopefully this gives me some nice choices to pick from and more limited than like having my whole bookshelf to pick from, because sometimes that can just be too overwhelming. Like I have a lot of fantasy books that I really want to get to, and then it becomes too overwhelming and I just end up picking something else. But this week I will be primarily focusing on reading fantasy written by females. So thank you so much to Jean and Jill for starting this readathon. In the meantime, if you've read any of these books, feel free to let me know what you think of them. I'd love to chat about them in the comments. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.